We're at it from the time this came to light, sometime latter part of last week. Now, the number of children who have died because of dosage of faulty cough syrup across Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh has gone up to 19. And this is because of the consumption of the Coldrif cough syrup, which is now banned across a large number of states, close to a dozen states now. Following an investigation, the state government, it first started in Madhya Pradesh, then in Rajasthan, and then of course a number of other states have banned Coldrif. What they found is when they tested it, the samples contained 48.6% of a compound called diethylene glycol. It's a toxic chemical. It's a cheap substitute for glycerin, which is used in the manufacture of cough syrup. And the prescribed limit is under 2% for this DEG or diethylene glycol. What they found in this faulty batch was upwards of 46%. Now, the Kanchipuram-based Sresan Pharmaceuticals, which is the company which manufactured this, they're now under the scanner for the manufacturing and the distribution of this killer medicine. The company has now got locks on its doors. We can show those images. This is about a couple of hours away from Chennai, the capital of Tamil Nadu, in Kanchipuram, completely, wayward sort of area. The locks are there on the door. There's a long list of violations and unhygienic practices, a notice from the local health department that's been pasted on their front door, etc. There's absolutely nothing that gives the impression that this is a pharmaceutical factory of some repute which actually makes stuff which is regulated and which is safe for the consumption, or least of all for our kids. This is how that factory premises looks like. The owners are absconding. No action has been taken against the regulators, either at the central level or at the state level. The only person who has been arrested is one doctor in Madhya Pradesh, a pediatrician, who had prescribed to these kids, to their parents, this medicine, which ultimately led to the death of some of these kids in that one particular area of Madhya Pradesh. The question, though, is the company, Sresan Pharmaceuticals, which manufactured this killer medicine, are they getting away with murder? They've been named in the FIR that's been filed in Chhindwara in Madhya Pradesh. There's been no action beyond that. Like I said, the owners are absconding. One doctor who's been arrested, Dr. Praveen Soni, he's from Chhindwara. He was arrested for alleged negligence related to the deaths of these kids. But Sresan Pharmaceuticals, the manufacturers, the people behind, the proprietors behind that company, nothing seems to have been done against them. Ranganathan Govindarajan seems to be the last person who was appointed as director. This was in 2009. This is as per public records. Where is this Mr. Ranganathan Govindarajan? We don't know. Will he be arrested? Again, we don't know. What about the regulators, the Drug Controller General of India, the drug inspectors at the various states where these kids have died? For example, the drug inspectors in Madhya Pradesh and the Food and Drugs Administration have been suspended or they've been transferred, but no criminal proceedings have been made against the drug controllers. A criminal proceeding has been launched. An arrest has taken place of this one doctor, but nothing against the regulators. The Central Drug Standard Control Organization, the CDSCO, which is the nodal organization which oversees the process of the medicine being safe, testing it, and then eventually sending it out to market, and which doesn't, which medicine goes in, which medicine doesn't go in. That's the central agency that's responsible for it. Again, they're not being made to give any answers. No action also against the DCGI or the CDSCO. Ultimately, the only action that's been taken in this case is against one pediatrician, one doctor who wrongly prescribed this medicine.
In what started as a mystery surrounding the death of children in Madhya Pradesh's Chhindwara has now full-blown into a public health issue. We are seeing that the death toll in Chhindwara has now risen to 18, in which there are children as young as 2 to 3 years old. Apart from that, we are also learning that there are 9 children who are at life support in a hospital in Nagpur. These are the children who were shifted from Chhindwara to a hospital in Nagpur. Now, what we are also learning is that there have been a number of steps that has been taken by the central government in this regard. The central government has, of course, banned this particular cough syrup in the market. They have also cancelled the license of the manufacturing unit. They have also proceeded with a legal action against the manufacturer. But the manufacturer here is still at large. The MP government has suspended the drug controller in question here. and also have arrested the doctor here who has prescribed this particular cough syrup called Coldrif. Now that is where the demand of the IMA has been coming in. There is of course a lot of disappointment and also protest that is being raised by the medical fraternity, who have been saying that the manufacturer is still at large. When we talk about the drug controller, he has only been suspended, but it is the doctor who has in fact been arrested.
I want to go across to Dr. Neelam Mohan. She's a pediatrician with the Medanta Hospital. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking with us. So the IMA has also put out a statement on the arrested doctor, Dr. Soni, in Madhya Pradesh. You know, the gist of which is everyone except everyone who's responsible, you know, the drug controllers, the state authorities, the central authorities, the manufacturers of this faulty medicine, none of them have been arrested or any action been taken against them. The only person who's been held at fault and arrested for it is this one doctor. Do you think it's unfairly targeting doctors, and why, if so?
It's not only unfair, it is unbelievable, it is ridiculous, it is beyond imagination of anyone, because you can not use any other word except a scapegoat, because as you highlighted, the death is nowhere due to prescription of the medicine which contains chlorpheniramine, Baliate, and the phenylephrine, the drug what you're talking about. It is nothing to do with it. The doctor has prescribed it in 2.5 ml twice, which is a decent dose which is given. The main problem which led to the death is diethylene glycol, and we've seen that when they did survey from two places in the Tamil Nadu, as well as today we got evidence from Bhopal, they showed that there was 45% plus of this diethylene glycol, where it should be less than 0.5% recommendation. So this drug gets metabolized in the body to form a product which damages the kidney tubules, and you end up with renal failure, kidney failure. The medicines that are prescribed and are there in the cough syrup do not anyway, they have been used for decades in children and have never reported with any kidney problem. If at all there has been any concern, it is due to sedation. That, a combination is always bad because it doesn't add to the benefit, but it actually adds to more side effects in terms of sedation.
Tell me, doctor, this diethylene glycol that you're referring to, what is this compound? Why is it put in a cough syrup, and whose job it is to check how much of this concentrate is there in batches of cough syrup that is manufactured by all of these various companies?
It is absolutely, as you rightly said, you need the strict regulatory control. You are supposed to look into the batches, the regulatory control, and there is even every company, they are supposed to have, the quality control is what they say, that you need to look into it. And every batch and also the products need to be looked by the drug inspectors, as you have highlighted, and the CDSCO is responsible for oversighting this. So they have to ensure that each batch is tested and there is a transparent reporting of what they find in it, and they have to be accountable for it.
What about the company? What about the company that manufactured this?
Yes. So what you're not supposed to use diethylene, and the same thing had happened in 2022 October, when in Gambia 66 children died, and it was so embarrassing that it was an Indian company called Maiden, which is in Haryana, and they had given it, even then it was ethylene glycol and diethylene glycol, DEG and EG, which we called 45% that time. And there was such a big UN cry. I failed to understand that after that UN cry, and again subsequently in Uzbekistan in January 23, there was again an Indian company from Noida called Marian, which had this product. Okay. Despite that, there has been a lack in the in vigilance, which speaks volume, where we are talking about Viksit Bharat and we are talking about the fourth developed country in the world. We are still discussing this thing that when a prescription is prescribed by a doctor, how is it the responsibility of a doctor to check that there is no contamination? How is it the responsibility of the parents
can I ask you one final
that
question?
they are not?
So now Coldrif is banned in most states. It's now banned. So what are
Yes.
doctors like you now prescribing to kids who come to you with cough problems? Are you reluctant to now
Excellent
prescribe
question.
cough
Number
syrup
one,
itself? Yeah.
we do not prescribe anything below 2 years. That is one thing that you do not. Cough is a normal stimulus which is there to remove the content. But occasionally, between 2 to 5 years, very occasionally under the supervision of a pediatrician, when he thinks that the child is having feeding problem or not able to, only then occasionally the doctor is going to prescribe you for a cough suppressant. So what needs to be understood is,
Okay.
and the message needs to go clear and to all the parents is, no medicine that needs to be bought over the counter without a prescription of a pediatrician. B, you cannot substitute that prescription for anything that the pharmacist wants to sell you. Three,
Okay.
avoid anything which is combination because the sedation is a concern. But the most important thing in this is the doctor is not to be blamed because he's written the medicine which he never ever thought would be contaminated,
Yeah.
45%. And the very fact this batch in Rajasthan and MP as well as in Nagpur is there clearly speaks volume about the batch which has gone,
Okay.
and in both Bhopal and that. So
Okay,
I think
Dr.
the media has to
Dr.
talk
Mohan,
a voice
we'll leave it
about
at that. Thank you very much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Dr. Neelam Mohan from the Medanta
Thank you.
Hospital with her thoughts on this.